Welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I wanted to take you through my 2025 Criterion Collection releases that I've picked up. There have been some really good ones so far this year, and some of these I reviewed individually or put them in other, review style collections. So I wanted to go through that in case there was some stuff you have been thinking of, you wanted to pick up or had missed or whatever the case might be. And you all can let me know what you've enjoyed from this year so far in the comments. One of the great first things I picked up was Yojimbo Sanjuro. This is the awesome 2-pack from Akira Kurosawa. And if you are enjoying some of this Clint Eastwood stuff that's come out lately, well, the Fistful of Dollars trilogy, if you're unaware, was heavily inspired by this film Yojimbo. So I'm really glad that Arrow's putting that out. I know a lot of people are excited for that trilogy coming out, but this is pretty good. It's, Kurosawa, how can you go wrong? So if you didn't catch this, this is the 4K, and it had already come out in the collection, before, but really nice to have that and in the collection, okay? Love the artwork on these. Just love it. Sometimes whenever you go back through and you pick up your films again, you just feel awesome that you've already owned it if you haven't picked it up off the shelf for a while. That's what happened just then. Another one that I've talked about a few times, I was really glad, is now in the collection, The Mother and the Whore. This is one of the great French New Wave films, and it stars the child star, all grown up, from the 400 Blows, which I know is that whole set is getting its own release, or that actor. The 400 Blows and all of its sequels and different recreations of that character, that's getting its own set. That's what I meant to say. The Mother and the Whore is a great film. It's sort of a talkative film. And one for a long time, I remember going back and looking at reviews that people had made whenever this first came out and how difficult it was to access the film. So to actually have this in the collection was great, but definitely an awesome film that I enjoyed. Ginestache. French. Need to continue my French collection, which I have another one in here somewhere. Yep, it's at the bottom. Okay. Winchester 73, one of my favorites from this year. I'm a huge Western fan, as you can probably tell from all the stuff behind me. I've been fingers crossed for this thing to get in the collection, like for a long time. And I kept waiting and waiting, and I did not pick this up in any other format because I had this sneaky feeling that Anthony Mann's Western would end up in here, and of course it did. A great James Stewart vehicle here with Dan Duria and Shelley Winters, and gosh, do I love this. A lot of his Westerns, just a fantastic director all the way around. This has a little bit, I remember talking about in my review that there was an episode of Supernatural where they have the lucky rabbit's foot that's not so lucky. And it's a similar plot line with this gun, this Winchester that everybody gets a hold of. Feels a bit unlucky as they get a hold of it. Another one I picked up, I haven't actually watched this one yet because I've seen this one before, but I haven't watched it in my 4K yet. I think I'm going to do this over the summer. This is Godzilla vs. Biollante, which got a 4K. Very, very happy about that. This is one of the wacky, fun ones with a great monster. And the only complaint I had about it originally was I really wanted more Biollante. It really held back how much I actually enjoyed it compared to some of the Godzillas. I'm actually really partial to the Space Godzilla. I don't know why. I don't know. That feels like the little kid in me coming out with that, but yeah, Godzilla vs. Biollante was a big hit for me from this year. Over time, I've found myself missing it. Since when I first watched it, I was a little underwhelmed by it, but I think like in 4K, I'm really going to like it. So I don't know. You all have to let me know if you've seen it already and if you liked it or not. All right. The next one is another one that I kind of held out on getting a copy of because I really wanted Criterion to release it, and I kind of thought they might since it was on the channel for a while. This is Gene Hackman in Night Moves. I have the Blu-ray of this. I didn't get the 4K, but it's a terrific, what they call, I think they called it paranoid and disillusioned 70s detective film. Yeah. One of his greatest performances from Gene Hackman. I think so. Like, this is one of those films that does not feel conventional to me, and I like that. I love the Florida Keys atmosphere because he's a detective who ends up in the Florida Keys looking for something. And I talked, a little bit more in my review, which you should check out, about why I like this so much. This was on Roger Ebert's great movie list, and it's a little like, I don't know. It's so non-traditional in my mind that I think maybe it's gone under the radar a little bit over the years, but I love Night Moves. Real big fan of this movie. The cover doesn't look that great from a distance, but if you actually hold it up and you've seen the movie and you look at it, you'll understand why they picked it up. The cover, or picked out that cover design, I think. And another one that I had not seen in a long time, and whenever I watched it again, Chungking Express, I was really even more impressed with it. One of Wong Kar-wai's great films. Uses some interesting editing techniques to tell a non-traditional story about a couple of cops who have romantic entanglements. It's like, what is it? The California Dreamin' comes on a lot. Makes you kind of hungry. Sort of a fun vibe movie. I call it vibes because I just enjoy it for the vibes. And the cinematography and so forth. I really this is just a fun movie to me. I was going back, whenever I was looking at this and getting ready to do my review, I went back and watched scenes for In the Mood for Love, and what a director, huh? Wong Kar-wai. But the only thing I don't love on this one's the cover. But it had, like, you know what? I don't remember a whole lot about this booklet. I do like the art here, though. Kind of a neat inside packaging. The inside, I think, looks neater than the outside, but I don't know. Chungking Express. Glad I got it. And I also got, this was a blind buy for me. I knew nothing about it. Jean Dofrey and Men of the Spring. These two films have to be kind of seen together because one sort of leaves you hanging as to what happens with Man of the Spring. I like these films. I think this is a good buy. I had said in my review that I think a lot of other folks liked it a little better than I did, and that I didn't think it was one of the top highlights of the collection, but I certainly think that these are interesting characters, particularly this old guy here. Oh gosh, I've already forgotten his name. Oh no, that's not a great selling point, is it, that I've already forgotten his name? But he was old and mean, and he kind of reminded me of Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood. That has elements of There Will Be Blood to it. I said in my review that if you liked There Will Be Blood, I thought you might like these films. They're gorgeous, set in the French countryside, like they're beautiful films. I didn't love this quite as much as I wanted to, but I still enjoy it, and I will watch both these again. So if you like these, let me know. I know these are popular. I definitely think you should see them, even if you don't buy them. And what's this, Honora? I got to be careful here because Honora has sort of a not YouTube friendly cover. Honora might be my favorite thing I've bought in the collection this year. I really wanted Winchester 73. Winchester 73 still might be my favorite. I don't know. This is close. Honora really, like, I've been watching Sean Baker lately. Really love Takeout. I did a review on that, and I talked about that at Honora. I just thought the everything in this, the acting, the phenomenal performance from Mikey Madison, like, every single thing about Honora worked for me, and I loved its message. I loved its humor. That's something, you know, when a director can use humor effectively, only so many directors could ever do that. Yosujiro Ozu could do that. Martin Scorsese can do that. Kubrick was great at that. Like, but there are only so many directors who could use humor the way that, like, Sean Baker can. So kudos to him for being able to work that into such a fantastic film. But Honora is definitely, like, it deserves the accolades. It's really good. And the only thing I dislike about Honora is that I'm scared that, I said this in my review, like, I'm scared that Mikey Madison's going to get poached off by the studio system, and they're going to try to stick her in bad projects, but maybe not. Hopefully not. But Honora, definitely look into it if you haven't. And then I need to finish this. This is The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. I barred my pronunciation on this. I'm filming this before I've had the proper time to completely go through this. What I have seen of it, I can tell you it's beautiful, stunning work on the 4K. Some people were a little disappointed, like they didn't think the coloring was right on it. I don't know. I think it looks fantastic. What I've seen of it so far, I've really liked. I'm going to put a full review up for it, but terrific musical, and so far I haven't cared at all about the, like, not knowing the French language. I know a little bit of French, but not, like, you know what I mean? The subtitles didn't matter. One of the prettiest films I've seen in a while, so really into this one, Jacques Demy's film, and I'll try to put up a review for that one. But I wanted to make this video because I kind of realized that I hadn't gone through like recent Criterions that I've picked up in a while. So that's everything from this year that I've gotten so far. There are some things I might pick up later that have come out this year. I just haven't done it yet. What are some things you've liked from this year? Do you like the video? If you do, I'd really appreciate if you click the like button, help grow the channel, and subscribe, right? Because I cover lots of Criterion-related topics. This was just kind of an overview of some of the stuff I've gotten this year, but I thought it might be helpful for those of you that are looking for ideas. And like I said, a lot of these I've reviewed on my channel. And don't forget, to have a good day watching your movies. See ya. Cody in the cinema.